Right. Good morning. Welcome to another live feed. Let's get into the New York Mets book about the 1986 Mets. So far away, so good. October 18th, October 23rd, 1986. October 18th, October 23rd, 1986. All Northeast World Series have become exceedingly rare. That has not always been the case. Once upon a time, before the relocation expansion, it was rare when a World Series was not played in the Northeast, defined by the Census Bureau as the six Mid-Atlantic states, plus New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. The Northeast is the richest section of the country, and also considers itself the smartest with the Ivy Leagues, little Ivies, and scabs of exclusive prep schools. So all the way down to the elite nursery school sends ground zero for the right connection to ensure the perfect northeastern life. You know, when it comes to recreation, Northeast loves its baseball, and nothing feeds that sense of history. It heightens regional rivalries like winning a championship against people you can lord it over. Between 1908 and 1934, there were about 10 World Series between Northeast teams. The lone series not involving at least one Northeastern team in that span was 1919. The year 8 White Sox players went for the fix against the Reds. So 1921 World Series marked the first of 14 Subway Series between two New York teams until the Dodgers and Giants left for the California at the 1957 season. For 1986, the last Northeast World Series had been 1960 when Bill Myers Rossi's Game 7 blast disappeared into the Pittsburgh haze, starting the Yankees and costing Casey Stengel and George Weiss their jobs. So when the Mets and Red Sox emerged torturous championship series battles to reach the 86 World Series, MC jumped for joy. Many viewers jumped for cover. Yankees fans tried to yawn through the worst nightmare come true. All right, hit the like button. Thanks for hitting the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Notice tired of the Northeast sense of entitlement, pretended not to notice. The rating stated otherwise. The 28.6 rating for the 1986 World Series was almost as high as Boston's epic seven-game World Series loss to the Reds in 1975. With the Mets, the overwhelming World Series favorites at 2.5 to 1. The Red Sox made for an interesting pick. The 1986 rating was comparable to the Mets World Series 1969 and 1973. In the pre-cable era, with a lot of less competition on TV, 1986 World Series was seen by an average of 36.37 million people, viewers per night. There were all-night games now. Thanks to baseball's first million-dollar TV contract, and 46 ratings shared for the 86 series remains untouched since then. It would take adding together four World Series broadcasts since 2010 to surpass it. Some turned in to see New York lose, given how much the Mets were disliked outside and inside the Northeast. We played hard. However, we can win. If we had to cheat, we want to win. Whatever it took to win, we try to do it. Even if we had to fight. 3 decades later, that's what said by Kevin Mitchell. decades later, a little of the attitude that rubbed quite a few people the wrong way can still ooze out. So this Mets alone of 86, it's not being cocky, it's just being true. Meanwhile, in 1986, Red Sox were true underdogs, down 3 games to 1 to the Angels in the NALCS, trailing 5-2 in the ninth with fans ready to pour out into the field in Anaheim. The Red Sox scored 4 times in the ninth. A two-run home by Don Bell made it a one-run game after moving starter Mike Witt, reliever Donnie Moore surrendered a two-run shot, and Dave Henderson suffered for injured Tony Armas. The Red Sox won Game Boston guarded the Angels like a fish that gave it a fight through thought it had won. Game 1 of the World Series felt like a night for ice fishing. The game times temperature was listed at 50 degrees with a 9-mile-per-hour wind. By game's end, it seemed like it had dropped to 9 degrees with the 40, 50 miles per hour wind. Heaters were installed in the dugout roofs. Bats were wrapped in warm towels. The only two Mets stars without long sleeve shirts under their uniforms. The were player introduction with Keith Hernandez and Tim Tuffle. And by the second inning, Tuffle had thrown on a sweatshirt underneath. You could say it was a cold day in blanket when New York and Boston met World Series. The Yankees and Red Sox had been rivals forever, but New York and Boston had not matched up in the World Series since 1912. when in brand new Fenway Park, the Giants had the lead in the 10th inning of the tying game until an error on a routine play fueled a rally for the home team. Christy Mathewson was the pitcher that fateful day. Chris Speaker was a hero for the Red Sox. A kid named George Ruth was still sewing shirts at St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys in Baltimore. Like, thanks for hitting the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Except for the likes, the music blame. Game 1 of the 1986 World Series game from the dead ball era. Even the baseball purists might think it though. I remember the extraordinary tedium of Game 1, the most boring one-night game ever. So the Red Sox won 1-0 the first game. Then you got to go to Game 2. You had Dwight Gooden against Roger Clemens. You had last year's 24-4 pitcher against this year's 24-4 pitcher. On paper, it looked like the pitching matchup for the ages between Gooden and Clemens. 1986 would have been the year for a designated hitter in the World Series, of the rotation system in place for a decade. In the odd number of years, pitchers batted in all games in the series. Before the 1986 postseason began, Commissioner Peter Ueroff and the Rules Committee opted for a change rule of the park. So the National League Park and Richard batted, keeping designated hitter Don Bell's 31 homers, 94 RBIs on the bench at Shea. Mets cut the lead at 3-2. David Johnson getting back with 2 on. The Mets down by 2 in the fourth. He grounded out the long home runs by Dave Henderson, Dwight Evans. Wooden walked up the mound in the fifth with the Mets down by 4. Not pitch hitting Good was one of several controversial decisions. David Johnson also slumping Ray Knight and Mookie Wilson. In favor of Howard Johnson, Danny Heat. Both went hitless in Game 2. Didn't actually outlasted Clemens. Was pulled in the bottom of the fifth. So Steve Crawford didn't have a win in 1986 until the playoffs was credited with a 9-3 victory. As the NBC camera focused on the full moon, known in October as the Harvest Moon, Vin Scully explained that the Red Sox doing the harvesting. The press would do the harvesting of the Mets. Where did the magic go? As Sherman asked in the Chicago Tribune. The super team of 1986 is being X6 by a team that was left for dead after 8 innings last Sunday in Anaheim, wrote Tim Rosaforte, the Fort Lauderdale Sun Sentinel. Jim Murray of the Los Angeles Times said that Sun slugger Dave Henson turned Dr. King to Dr. Gopher. New York Times columnist Dave Anderson said 108 winning Mets were in shambles. Peter Pasquarelli, a Philadelphia Inquirer, wrote that the Mets were in dire straits and he didn't mean the British rock group. So to quote lead guitarist Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, 1986 Grammy-winning album Brothers in Arms victory seems so far away. 9 runs, 18 hits were the most allowed by the Mets in their 28-game postseason history. That was as many runs as the Mets allowed in their 5-game victory over the Oilers in '69 World Series. The 86 Mets had a lot of work to do to get their own World Series championship rings. The Shea Stadium parking lot hawkers were desperate to dump official World Series merchandise knockouts as midnight approached. The prices reduced with every step taken by Patriot. Where these trash storm about the weekend a disaster, but both the customer sell were of the same mind, though different motivations. After this incredible season, was this the last time the Mets would play at Shea in 1986? Ballpark is a star. Fenway has been the talisman for the politically inclined. It's old, is idiosyncratic, a frequent citadel of dash hopes all during enduring themes of literature. Fenway is the ultimate protagonist of literary life of survivor. Albeit a little cramped, born in the 1980s, Fenway was and remains an ecumenical shrine. It was just a set of stocks shy of being the game's oldest park in 1986. No team had ever lost the first two games at home, won the World Series at least not until the year before when the Royals rallied to stun the Cardinals in 7 games in the 8-5 series. The history of the Red Sox can be wonderful. Ted Williams, Bobby Doerr, Leo Louis Tiant, caught in fixed Fenway Park can be haunting. 7 game World Series losses in 1946, 67, and 75 are track record of falling apart at crucial moments. The fan base convinced that anything bad that could happen would happen. Now they were up 2 games to none. All they had to do was win twice over the next week, and 68-year championship drought play would end at last. And you know who would have been a great pitcher to push them to that goal? Bob Vallejo. No pitcher had ever faced his former team in the World Series the year of the trade. Bobby O became the patron saint for pitchers wanting to stick it to their old teams. It didn't hurt that the Mets hung a crooked number on the Red Sox before he even took the mound. Lane Dyker's commenced home run to Game 3 of the NLCS was one of the best innings in Mets history. Game 3 of the World Series had to be just about the best beginning. That's your home run down the right field line, shocked the Fenway crowd and living the Mets bench. It hyped everyone up. It was shot in the arm for me, though, not literally. The lefty reported that his arm for James felt fine. Mets had to deal with Dennis Oil Can Boyd. Seth, a 2-run single by Carter, made it 6-1. Carter ended the inning by being caught in a rundown. This time the Red Sox got him, though it did take 4 throws. Roger McDowell finished the 5-hitter, the first World Series game won by the Mets in 13 years. Dating back to 1973, the Mets had lost 4 straight series. They were ready to start a new streak. Okay, we got Ron Darling. Talk about him. Second straight RBI game. Gary Carter did it again. Hit a curveball over the net under the yellow van across Lansdowne Street. It was a second to 3 RBI game. Roger McDowell had not allowed a run in 11 postseason innings. Surrendered 2 runs in the 8th to make it 6-2. Jesse Orosco finished up as Mets fans chanted, "Let's go Mets" at Fenway. The Allentown crowd too worn out, too bummed out to retaliate. The World Series that had looked like a Mets romp before it started, a Red Sox runaway 2 games in, was now even. The home team had yet to win a game. That ended Thursday night as did Bruce Hurst's World Series scoreless streak at 15 and a half to 15 1/3 innings. He allowed Tim Tuffle homer in the 8th to our RBI single to Ricky Wilson in the 9th, but Hurst completed the 4-2 win by fanning Link Dykstra. The Red Sox beating up Dwight Gooden once more and regaining the World Series advantage. Boston fans were back in their full-throated glory, taunting Darryl Strawberry with chants of Darryl, 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 Darryl. Turned to tip his cap, the crowd wore. Could the Red Sox win the World Series that had led them since 1918. The team had been anchored by 20-year-old Babe Ruth, who won 2 World Series games on the mound. Field was in left field when the final out was made in Game 6. It's late inning defensive replacement. All right, so that's it, man. Quick chapter. Be into chapter 13 tomorrow. Can you believe this ball game at Shea? October 25th, 1986. All right, so that concludes this live feed. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit see the 2 like buttons. Hit two likes. Hopefully that equals new subscribers. This is from the 1-year dynasty inside the rise and fall of the 1986 Mets. Baseball's impossible champions, one-and-done champions. So I'll be in chapter 13 tomorrow. Reading about can you believe this ball game at Shea, October 25th, 1986. That's it. Done. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. Doing like a series, like a mini series kind of thing. Talk about the it came out as a novel, The Women of Brewster Place. The Women of Brewster Place became a movie 7 years later. It was released in 1982, the novel, The Women of Brewster Place, and then it became a movie in 1989. It was on ABC, a mini series. So I'm gonna do like a 5-part series on like mini series and stuff like that, and keep moving. So The Women of Brewster Place will be up next. That'll be at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So support the channel. I see the two people hit the like button. Thank you. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel. Until then, talk to you at 1 o'clock.